of recap what's been going on with some Razorbacks over there and just how Scotty Scheffler once again came through in the clutch. He has been magnificent in 2024, and his stretch continues. We'll stay with us right here, ESPN 1043, hitthatline.com, and our brand new Hit That Line Now app.
Quarterback one time. Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
So that was Brian's hot take for Arkansas football against Texas, November the 16th. I'm sure many of you have hot takes about that game, this season as a whole. We are getting closer and closer to August the 29th when they'll kick off against UAPB. If you want to jump in with your hot take this morning, do so. 877-377-6963. I have an important question to ask as we get going to Tommy. Tommy, did you or Scotty Scheffler play better in your golf event this week?
Well, I didn't get a gold medal. I got some Benjamins, but not a gold medal.
All right.
So I'm going to say, Scotty Scheffler obviously had the best weekend, and what a finishing final round he had to win the gold medal. Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Best brands like Grand Design, Forest River. And if you haven't checked out the Brinkley's, you need to do that. It's got the latest innovations in luxury fifth wheels, and they all come with a lifetime warranty as well. That's Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. How about a come from, that was a come from behind, track him down, overtake the field win in Paris. And what a tremendous golf course, number one, but what a great final round performance from Scheffler.
Yep, he was awesome. We're going to get a chance to catch up with Alyssa Orange the 8 o'clock hour. If you can't get a chance to listen, if you don't get a chance to listen to that, you can do so on our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast as she's live in Paris. And there's been quite a number of events, not just non-Razorbacks like Scotty, but you had some Razorbacks incorporated and some pretty outstanding finishes. I think one of the most notable ones was the 4x400 that Caitlin Brown and her team got the record in one of the prelims, and they ended up coming up just short against the Netherlands down the stretch. So it was an entertaining weekend of Olympics. But yeah, Scotty Scheffler's, for him to be down in the way he was, and then him just to come roaring back, his 2024 is one for the books, Tommy, and he just keeps on winning, man.
How about you're talking about the finishes and everything, and great finish by Scheffler. How about the finish in the 100-meter final? Holy smokes. We were talking last week. You trained for 4 years from the last Olympics to get to this Olympics, and it comes down to, what was it, 0.0005. Can you walk those decimals all the way out? Tens, hundredths, thousands, 5 10,000ths of a second, I believe. Holy smokes. And any of those guys along there could have won. I mean, that's what makes the Olympics great.
Yeah, Noah Lyles ended up being the victor initially. I'm forgetting the broadcast. We've got the audio. We'll play it in just a bit. They initially called for the Jamaican competitor to win, and then you found out after. And in that situation, as a broadcaster, it's so difficult when it's that close. And so I know some people were angry that he messed it up. I don't know how he gets that right. I mean, I
don't know how you call anyone.
That's what I'm saying. Like you said, it's so close. There's no way to know.
We've seen Kentucky Derbies. That's the best comparison I got. We've seen auto races where you don't know. And I'm still not clear on looking at the photo. How you get. I mean, when it's that tight, how do you get the right frame? I mean, I don't know. It's just incredible.
Yeah, the American Noah Lyles takes it, so congratulations to him. Some Razorbacks, including Volunteer. I don't know. It's Ryan Krauser, I think is how you say his name. he is a former Texas Longhorn, if I read that right, which is kind of interesting that he's a volunteer coach here in Fayetteville, but he's won, I guess, the shot put 3 straight years, Rio, Tokyo, and now Paris as well, which is mightily impressive that he's been able to accomplish that. You watch these guys, and of course I watch football, basketball, and baseball throughout the years, and then you see competitors like this that are just at the highest level of whatever they're at. It is remarkable at the time. You mentioned the time and effort that they put in for these events once every 4 years, that they're just able to go about this. Like, think about Simone Biles and Katie Ledecky. By the way, the U.S. women, the men need to get their you-know-what together. The women are the ones that are holding up the gold, and they're into the bargain, or they're into the deal, because the men have not in individual and other competitions. It's really the women that have been the ones that have been picking up the awards and picking up the gold medals. The men have not been as dominant as some of the women in these competitions thus far.
So you're saying who's holding up their end? I think you said
the women. The women are holding up their end of
Okay.
the bargain. The men are not.
Okay, well, because I kind of thought that's the way it was. Watched a little bit of Simone Biles. What a great story at her. I say her age. We act like she's old at 27, but in that sport, you're on the backside of it. Obviously, you're generally not even in the competition. So there's a lot of great stories. That's really what the Olympics is about. I know it's about competition. I know it's about finding out who's the best in the world, but it's really a 3-week storytelling event.
I like how anytime a athlete wins from a smaller country, it's like the entire nation is watching. Not that there aren't a good chunk of people in the United States that watch these different events, but when you zone in, for example, on St. Lucia, there was I think a women's track competitor that won this weekend, and it was like the entire country was watching. It was so cool. You have all these different cultures. Like when Scotty Scheffler is up on the main stage, they announce him, and then they do the national anthem. He's crying. Obviously, that kind of tugged at me a little bit. And then not just for the Americans, but just watching these different people from all over the world that are holding on because it's one thing, like Americans have the advantage, of course, of having not just themselves at the highest clip, but there are other athletes and other teammates that might have a chance to win gold, silver, bronze. A lot of times in the others, it's just you. It's all on you. So when they accomplish something, it's pretty cool. And saw a couple of the smaller countries win this weekend, which I thought was awesome.
Did you see the video of the defensive lineman, the tackle at Navy, Creighton LaFleur? He's in football practice at the Naval Academy, and the coach comes out, blows the whistle, stops practice, and says, "Hey, LaFleur, your sister just won gold."
Oh,
and that's how
awesome.
he found out in the team. It was a pretty cool video. His sister, the only Puerto Rican in the Olympic field. So that was,
how about that?
That was a neat video I saw on TikTok this weekend. Was my wife sent that over. I thought that's a pretty neat story.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't know where you were going with that, to be honest. But to
So
find
he's out there, and then the whole team starts
Practicing.
jumping around. It's like someone who was a walk-on got a scholarship kind of video.
Yeah. That's always it when you find out in front of your friends, families, or teammates something that's dramatic, not just in your life, but one of your family members' life. It's pretty cool. So for him, I know that must have been a significant moment. And they got a break from practice, which we know at the Naval Academy this time of year, it's probably much needed.
Yeah. So all of that is where we begin. We're brought to you by the Fence Man. 782-3936 is the number. Anything you need involving a fence, whether it's chain link fence, maybe you need wood or vinyl, they can do that. Ornamental iron, aluminum. They do railing as well. Anything you need to make your fencing look better, the Fence Man can do it. 479-782-3936. Large industrial and commercial jobs. Things like the Air Force Base in Fort Smith. They've done a lot of work at that level. So if you're listening, you know that, hey, security and clearance and the quality of the work you do to do a government installation at that level, you got to have skill. You got to have ability. You got to have organization. You got to be able to put a job together. The Fence Man can work at that level too. So whether you need a 6-foot privacy fence, 8-foot privacy fence around your backyard, or you need some major work done, the Fence Man can handle it. 782-3936. The Fence Man he ain't afraid of no work.
All right, we've already got a phone caller this morning on the hotline. We will get to him coming up in just a bit. Your calls are welcome as well. And we've got a lot to discuss, not only Olympics, some Arkansas football recruiting news over the weekend, what happened in practice, and more. Plus, Chuck joins us in 20 minutes on The Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hey, Wits.
Billy, hay is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm going to order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm going to use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em, some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup. And they come right to the river's edge when I call them, too. Woo! Fish silly!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go. Right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I think I side with Ty as much as anybody. I've listened to this program for years. First time I've called in.
Gets it off. He's got Anderson. He's got the touchdown.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
So Brian in Ozark is under the impression that when Arkansas and Texas play on November the 16th, the Razorbacks will not sack a quarterback in Burnt Orange one time. Now, Ryan in Hot Springs, I'm going to guess, disagrees with that assertion. We'll get his call. We'll take your calls. Coming up, 877-377-6963.
Another chance to qualifying for the football trip of a lifetime. We're down to the last couple of weeks for you to get your chance to get in there. If you want to see the Cowboys and the Eagles at AT&T Stadium in the, was it November? I think it's November the 10th. It's a November game there in Arlington. We got your chance to win the trip. Coming up this week, Tuesday and Thursday at Hardee's on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. You can join us Tuesday, August the 6th, and Thursday the 8th at 1820 Phoenix for our lunch qualifiers. Monster Burgers, if you can eat one in 150 seconds or less, you're qualified for the August 24th finals. It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime, brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
Yeah, it is November the 10th, 3:25 game between the boys and the Birds. All right, Ryan, what you got for us this morning, man?
He's pretty mouthy for a team that has a losing record to Arkansas since joining the SEC.
That's a good point.
And I had a hot take for the Oklahoma State game.
Okay.
Look, I ain't gonna take nothing away from that kid. He's probably the final running back, but I will say this: he ain't no SEC running back either, though. And all I'm trying to say with that is we see highly touted, highly talented running backs week in and week out. So this really shouldn't be nothing new for us. All I'm saying. That's my hot take. I hope y'all have a great day and go Hogs.
Playing top 10 teams on the road, they'll be top 10, top 15, don't you suspect?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, going into a road environment, you're right. That's nothing new. Now, always you got new players. You got a quarterback that hasn't played in the SEC. You say it's nothing new. It's nothing new for the program, but for a lot of players on any team, because of the portal world we live in, it is new. So for Taylon Green, it is new. For those new linemen across the line, it is new in a lot of cases. So yes and no on that. You're right, but for some of these players and for some of the key players, it will be new.
Yeah, and I think about even listening to Devin Bale this weekend, who is a transfer from Northern Colorado and redshirted with Fletcher, and I'm forgetting the Bauer, I guess, last year. They even he's not it's not just the important positions, it's some of the positions that you don't necessarily think about of guys. You mentioned the offensive line, the communication aspect with him and Taylon Green. There are just position groups that you think about there, or you don't think about, that have to again get ready for real-time football, which is SEC, and going on the road in a top, probably like you said, 10 environment, Boone Pickens Stadium, 11 a.m. game, which we're all excited about. Can't wait to see what Arkansas can do against an actual real opponent, because their opponent on the 29th is just not the same caliber. We know that. So that's really the barometer that really sets the tone for the season. I don't think you have to win, per se. I think it's asking a lot to go on the road against what I think is going to be a Big 12 competitor for their championship in December.
Which means they're a playoff team.
Yes, correct. But you can't get rocked. That's more what I'm advocating for with this football team. So we've got some fall camp stuff. Mentioned Devin Bale. I heard from Scott Fountain, him, and Eli Stein, the holder, or not the holder, the snapper for the Arkansas football team, another position that you don't necessarily think about until it screws up. We'll get to hear some of what they had to say in a bit. Before we hear from them, do want to mention Arkansas did have a successful weekend in recruiting. They got a JUCO defensive back, Shannon Blair, 2026 kid, Colton Yarborough, Adam Austin, who is a 2026 safety, and then also Cameron Settles, who is a Parkview running back in the class of 2025. Don't know if that's trying to still get Omarion Robinson, what the deal is there, or if they think he is talented enough to come to campus and play here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. But for football commits, and you also rounded out your basketball class, Tommy, with Casimir Chavis, who was originally committed to Washington from Minnesota, but now has elected to sign and come here and play basketball in Fayetteville. 3-star kid.
I would imagine, and again, I'm not being disrespectful, but these are practice players that he's signing. These guys here with a purpose to make their teammates better. Because Cal, that's just what we've seen. For players like that, you're going to get better by practicing in this environment. Nothing that should be head turning or, hey, this guy's going to be the difference in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 this year. We're not, I think that'd be a big surprise to everyone and probably this player himself on this roster. Football wise, good weekend. You gear up, your recruiting staff. A lot of people put a lot of effort into getting the right guys on campus for these kind of weekends. But, I just keep cautioning myself. These are commitments. These are not signees. We know the score. This staff and this team need to win at least an average level this year. 6-7 wins to probably not have a serious conversation about a change of direction for the future. So, all these commitments can go by the wayside for a lot of reasons, but change of staff would be first amongst them. So if you want the number one player in Oklahoma to stay under your tent, you got to go win this year.
Yep, and I kind of just went over all those guys real quick. Tommy just referred to the ranking for Yarborough, who is a defensive end, 6'4", 6'5" kid, Durant, and a kid that was offered scholarship a lot of different places and is elected at least to commit to Arkansas. That's a credit to this defensive staff, Travis Williams, Deke Adams. Deke Adams has gotten some good defensive end and lineman talent lately, it seems like, so you got to be happy for him. And for Arkansas now, you've got a pretty salty class for 2026, which, again, this upcoming class is going to be 2025, which I now think they're up to 21 total players if my memory is correct on that. And then 26, I think it's around 5 or 6. So you're starting to really bolster both of those classes. And hopefully by the end of it, you can at least say you're in the kind of mid half of the SEC, because you're not ever going to be in the top 5, but if you can be around like 8 or 9, that would look pretty decent if you could get there.
Top 10 in the country, 8th in your league.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it works, and it's not going to get any easier with the expansion of this league. But this is good. This has got to energize the coaches. I'm sure that it that spills over and energizes the players. I always wonder, how much do the current players that are here on campus going through camp, do they even care about this stuff? Does it even register with, someone's on this roster right now that, hey, we just got does Landon Jackson care that you got the number one defensive end? I guess to a degree he's going to give you the right public answer, but they're so focused on this. I don't know that commitments fire them up the way they do the fan base.
No, I think that's fair. I think it's more.
I don't know. I'm wondering out loud.
Landon's not going to be here next year, so I think it's more for maybe the younger underclassmen of guys. They're going to be here this year, next year, and years to come. That's more of an impact on them. So I think they have probably more of a want for those guys to ultimately sign with the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, you want the tradition to carry on, but the tradition they had last year is not the one that you want to obviously perpetrate moving forward. All right, Chuck's coming up here in just a minute. We're brought to you by Oaklawn Sports. We're talking about football season being right here on the doorstep. And if you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, get in on the action with futures, outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, and game props as well. Basketball, baseball, the Olympics right now. Arkansas's best sports betting app is with Oaklawn. Create your account. Make your deposit using any of their easy methods. If your first bet doesn't work out between $10 and $250, they'll give you a bonus bet absolutely free. Bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
All right, we'll get Chuck's thoughts on all those things coming up on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Great to be on here with you guys. I think you guys do awesome work, and I really enjoy listening to you.
It seems like every
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth.
Funniest parts of the show was how he relived his high school glory. I just got this image at your new home of Ty and whatever it was you play, soccer, football, whatever it was you play, in your uniform, running down the field. Tell me there is some picture in a frame in your new home of you reliving your high school glory, So when you bring girls to your new house, you can tell them how you were a high school stud.
I feel like everyone does that to a certain extent. There were plenty of exaggerated stories that were shared with us on the hotline on Friday about high school sports accomplishments. Chuck and I had some fun with that. He's with us now. Maybe we come back to that at some point. But real accomplishments happened in Paris this weekend for some Razorbacks, Scotty Scheffler, and more. We'll get to some of those Olympic ones before we talk some football here on the Morning Rush in just one bit. Chuck, how is it going here on this Monday, man?
Well, it's going well. Hope you guys had a good weekend.
It was. We got a chance to watch some Olympics. I'll say this, Chuck. That ending to the men's 100 was pretty nuts.
There's an Olympic gold medal waiting for somebody who wants it the most. This is close. Jamaica's going to do it. To Shane Thompson is a gold medalist. Debut. We thought it was going to take 9.7 to win. Guess what? He just ran 9.78. Visually, we think he got it. They're working on the photo. No, Lyles is looking anxiously.
Now, Tommy, you said it earlier. It was point.
So I think .0005.
Zero.
It was like, yeah, it was.
5,
there were
10,000.
zeros in there before the
Hundreds.
5. I know that.
Let's see. Go back to 5th grade. Hundredths, tenths, thousandths, 10,000. That'd be 5 10,000ths, right? If there was 3 zeros. So
there were some zeros. I don't know how many were there. I know it was really close.
Yeah.
It's as close a 100-meter final as I've ever seen. And it was, as we just heard, it was kind of hard to tell who won. So it was a great moment.
Yeah. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and always a lifetime warranty on each and every new RV they sell. You obviously call play-by-play and do that. In that moment, I don't know what you do as the announcer. I mean, we've seen this in NASCAR. We see this at the Kentucky Derby on rare occasion. I don't know. It's usually not the line, but that might have been the line. I don't know.
Well, in retrospect, I'm sure he wished he'd said photo finish. I'm sure he wished he'd said that during the first outburst there, that it's hard to call a winner. Sometimes on a close play, and I've had this happen, you make your call and you run with it. And if you're right, you're right, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. That time he made his call and he ran with it, and I'm sure maybe he had it, wishes he had it to do over again. But that's as close a race. I don't know how in the world he called it, to be very honest with you. And man, that was something to watch. It really was.
Well, there's plenty of entertainment this weekend. You had that, of course, in the 100. You also had Scotty Scheffler come roaring back.
Middle East and Olympic champion Scotty Scheffler.
So he's 4 shots back behind Xander Schauffele and John Rahm and ends up taking it. In fact, those two that I just mentioned didn't even place. You had Hideki Matsuyama, who finished in 3rd. And then you also had, and who's the Brit that finished in 2nd?
Tommy Fleetwood.
Thank you.
Got silver medal.
Yeah, so that was how that concluded. Guys, it didn't look good for Scheffler down the stretch. And then all of a sudden, he just pulled a 2024 Scotty Scheffler and kept on trucking and found a way. What do you have? Was it 6 birdies on the back 9? 6.
Yeah, it's really, we say final round comeback, but Chuck, it was really about the last 10 holes. He caught fire, and that's why these guys are obviously at another level. And then he's on that other level above the guys that are at the other level. I mean, when you can just turn it on like that for an Olympic gold, and you think about all the things he's already accomplished, but I've never seen him that emotional following, a green jacket ceremony or anything else he's accomplished in his already storied career. But you could tell this one meant a lot to him.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't know how it couldn't. And so, I'm sure all that was genuine. And he played awfully well. Sure did. Played very, very well down the stretch. And it was a great win for him. And it was one of those moments, as fans, that we'll remember from the Olympics.
Well, you think about like this season for him. He's made, I think, $28-some-odd million, and the gold medal nets you $37K. But when this came on,
representing the United States of America.
And he's singing, and he's like crying as the national anthem is going on. And not that he hadn't gotten emotional during the course of this season. We saw him after he had his firstborn and winning that, and I'm forgetting which tournament it was, but winning that tournament. But that was one of the coolest moments that I've seen this year in a sporting event, just the emotion that flowed out of him following that comeback win this weekend.
So I'm watching this video and kind of the highlight last night. My wife's laying there next to me. She goes, "What's wrong with his forehead?"
Oh yeah, that was
because
funny.
he had the hat on, and you get a farmer's tan, you get a golfer's tan. That was you could tell that he had been out in the sun quite a bit with that hat on, Chuck, because from about the eyebrow up was still white, and the eyebrow down was pretty dark tan.
That's when you go to a restaurant on Saturday night, you can spot the guys who played golf that day because their faces are sunburned and their domes are white, and they're at least not as sunburned. So yeah, he had the classic golfer's look going there.
Yeah. So that was the first thing she noticed was, what's wrong with his forehead?
Of all the things to take in, Laura's like, why did he?
I mean, it did look weird, but to a golfer, it looked normal.
His head was completely. He gets tan usually, but not his forehead. So you had again. Then Chuck, one of the things I pointed out to Tommy earlier is if you look at the U.S. men, it's really the U.S. women that have been the ones that have been carrying the water of sorts. They've won way more individual medals than the men have. The men have won a team tour in there, but. Really, it's the U.S. women that have been accomplishing more in Paris than the men have had thus far.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I don't know what the medal count is, but I'll take your word for it. And they've been impressive. I mean, it's been all the countries, all the nations, and I mean they're very best there. And so our women have been, our women's teams have been impressive, and other teams have too. So. Congratulations to all of them.
China right now has 21 gold medals. The United States is in second with 19. The United States has the most overall with 72, but still trying to get the gold most. Is that something you guys want? I know there's certain things in wins and stuff, but it's like the United States, do you care what the gold medal count is at the end of the games? I know that apparently Tom Cruise, I don't know if you saw this weekend, Tom Cruise is going to be rappelling at the end of the Olympics and announcing for the LA in 4 years. I don't know if you've seen that story.
No, I haven't.
That's going to be an entertainment value to this Olympics. But, I mean, you hope the United States wins it. Just didn't know if that was a big deal or not to you guys.
Well, that's not the end of the world. I'd much rather Arkansas win at least 7 football games.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
That'd be where I mean, do I want the Americans to do well? Yeah, whether it's gold count or total medal count. I mean, you'd like to win it all, but I'm a lot more centrally focused between my ears on football season.
Yeah, we'll touch on football in a sec. Two more things on the Olympics with Razorbacks. You have Ryan Krauser, who wins his third straight shot put. He is a volunteer assistant for the Arkansas track team, so he wins in Rio, he wins in Tokyo, and now he wins in Paris. And then you have one of the other, we were talking about Lyles in the ending. The mixed 4x400 was nuts down the tail end of that stretch as the Netherlands just takes it. I was watching that live, and I didn't realize until after the fact that Kaylin Brown was a Razorback. And then all of a sudden I'm looking up because I'm just Googling, I'm seeing, I was like, oh, she was a hog. So, but that was another crazy finish as well. Don't know if y'all saw that or not.
I did see that, and that was a wild finish. And there have been, the thing about these games is we do see a lot of these fantastic finishes. I also know that in international competition, fantastic finishes are the norm. Mm-hmm. But we don't see them all the time because the Olympics come around every 4 years, and that's when most of us really pay the most attention. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, there's that race, and lots of them have just been fantastic.
So you didn't watch it, I'm assuming, this weekend, right?
I was in a golf tournament this weekend, so I watched some recaps.
Just to set it up for those that haven't seen it, Kaylin Brown was the anchor for the United States, and then you had Amber Anning, who was the anchor for Great Britain or UK, whatever it is, and she is also a Razorback, but they're going neck and neck back and forth, and it was actually someone from the Netherlands that ends up taking it. Kind of fantastic finish like the men's 100.
From Arkansas, she was part of that 1, 2, 3, 4 sweep at the NCAAs, but so far, Kaylin has done a job. Kaylin Brown had this feeling yesterday, she's got it again.
I did see that.
Okay.
The video, the recap of that. I mean,
she came out of nowhere.
I mean, I don't want to compare a race to a horse race, but that's what it reminded me of, a horse coming off the clubhouse turn and just ran him down in the home stretch and just out of nowhere, So, what a great come from behind there for the lady from the Netherlands.
Awesome ending to that. All right, you mentioned Arkansas football. Again, practice still ongoing. We're going to get a chance to hear from Darren Wilson later on at 11:30 today. They had practice a little earlier this morning. You had some injuries on the offensive line, I guess, over the weekend. Tykees Crawford was out on Friday. He was back on Saturday. Patrick Kudus, I think, is dealing with a back issue. Hopefully we'll get a timetable on that soon. Guys, you're going to have some new elements within special teams this year. No Cam Little. Max Fletcher transfers to his brother's school in the offseason. So you'll have a new punter in Devin Bailey. You were talking about new faces earlier just going to Oklahoma State. They're going to have really a completely separate unit outside of Eli Stein, the snapper, for this upcoming special teams this year.
I know we got Scott Fountain. You can go to hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app, and Scott Fountain and some of the specialists were, we're in front of the media this weekend, so that was kind of the focus. But, Chuck, when you've got 5 games decided by a possession or less last year, special teams is always going to be a conversation because it's a difference maker with a team that's had a lot of close games in recent tries.
Well, it's one of those areas where you really don't need to screw up. You don't have to return a kickoff or a touchdown to win a game. You don't have to have a punt return for a touchdown to win a game. But most of the time, if you give one of those up, you're going to lose. So it is an area that is important, and we tend to focus on the spectacular sometimes when it comes to special teams, and there's a lot of reason for that. But it is your, from a field goal kicker's perspective, it's your basic 42, 45-yard field goal. You got to be able to make those in your sleep. If you're a punter, you got to be able to punt it away from their guy, particularly if that's by design. You got to have hang time. You got to get that thing up there 43, 45 yards. There's certain standards you've got to hit. But to me, coverage, how you handle that, particularly from a punt perspective, my view on special teams has been, if you've got someone like Cam Little, it's great to have a weapon. Mm-hmm. And he certainly was a weapon. There may be other weapons this year, but my biggest thing, it's just personal, my biggest thing with special teams is just don't give up the chunk play. I don't care if we return a punt. It'd be nice to return a punt for a touchdown, but what I really want is for the other guys not to.
And, for me, because we know how stingy defenses are in this league, if you get inside your opponent's 30, it ought to be at least 3. You hope to be that steady from 40 yards, and you'd like to be able to say 50. There's no certainties about kicks beyond 45, but you'd like to be pretty steady and almost automatic when you get inside the opponent's 30. Yep. That's just going to happen where you don't always get it in the end zone. You need to be able to walk away with some points.
And there is a kicker battle right now, and Coach Fountain talked about that a little bit. You heard Coach Pittman a week or so ago say we want to get this thing solidified by the start of school. Still an ongoing job right now.
You probably don't believe me this, but I'm telling you, when Cam was here, we made him compete every year for the job. It was not his, and he knew he had to win it in camp. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how we do it. But with this new crop of guys, I'm definitely going to spend a little bit more time in the stadium because y'all asked about spring game. I feel like this spring we didn't get enough time in the stadium, and it's a little different on the far end with the wind, the way it plays out. So we're trying to get over here more because I want those guys comfortable in the stadium. So that's the only thing that's a little different. The competing is the same. We're just trying to get a little more time in our stadium.
And that was one of the things you heard Pittman is like they want to see how they handled the live aspect and playing bigger. It's one thing to kick them on the practice field. It's another thing to do it in a situation that feels more game-like. So he wants to see how they do it in that pressure, in these pressure cook situation type of things.
Yeah, and until you can figure out a way to practice in front of 75,000, I don't think it's truly like a game situation. We've been to enough of these. Chuck, you've seen it where the team's yelling and the coaches are there, and maybe there's some extra running or not, or maybe you get to skip some running if you make certain kicks. I've seen coaches handle it a lot of ways. They try to put as much pressure in practice as they can, but sometimes you just can't duplicate a game situation.
No, you can't do it fully, that's for sure. And they do create situations where there's something on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a little different in practice because here's the situation. If you miss a big kick in a game, you walk to the locker room. You don't have to deal with all those fans that are booing you or saying, man, why didn't you make that kick? You're in practice. You missed that thing, and practice has got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Or guys have to run. You're 6 inches from them. You're a foot from them. I mean, so there is accountability. I'm not saying it's the same as being in a game, but there is accountability. I think the place kicker spot's something that they've really got to get shored up. I'm not saying neither one of these guys can do it. I'm not suggesting that at all. I think they've got to figure out who it is. When I came away from the spring game, very honestly, that's the one spot that I looked at and say, man, you got to get better there. That could cost you a game. Or it could keep you from winning a game. And to me, there's a difference. I mean, sometimes you put yourself in position to win, and then you can't cross the threshold, so to speak. Other times you have a series of missteps during a game, and you never even get to that threshold. And sometimes your kicking game, it does have something to do with that, and your placement has something to do with that. I would like to see them, and just, whether or not they're able to pull it off, I don't know. It's every team out there is looking to be solid at every position, but I was concerned about that coming out of the spring, and I'll be anxious to see how they handle it early in the season.
And we know the reality of the close games last year. I just spoke to it a moment ago, and Chuck, you still had a guy that's going to kick in the NFL this year that was doing the kicking for you. So, I mean, sometimes even having a really solid, great kicker doesn't always mean you're going to win those tight games.
Well, to me, one-score games have a lot more to do with how good you are on third down than whether or not you got a good place kicker. I mean, just very honestly. There may be situations where it's a field goal game and your kicker either wins the game for you or misses a field goal and loses the game. Now, I won't say he loses it for you, but you lose the game. But lots of times in these one-score games, it's something that happens on third down that, you really look at and say that was, that's the key line. Those were the key plays. But it certainly is a nice luxury, and they've had that with a place kicker to know that there was a pretty good chance once they got inside the 30 they were going to score, really the 35. And we'll just have to see how that plays out. But that's a very important spot for a lot of reasons. Hey, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, has been my partner in the real estate game from the moment I bought my first home. And I know a lot of people who've been in that position. And the one thing they all talk about is how professional they were, how they listened to them, how they got them from contract to close. But I'll tell you what I've noticed over 20, 30 years now, how involved in the community they are, how when things like the tornado that we endured a while back happen, how they're front and center when things like that happen. These are people that you see at church, you see at school, you see at your ball games, and they're part of what we do every day. And fortunately for us, is they understand the real estate game like nobody else. And I would recommend them. They've been my partner. I know what my experience has been, and I think that'll be your experience too. Now, they're in Washington counties, Washington and Benton counties, I should say. They're in Fort Smith as well. You're just talking about their office in Branson. And you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
So you heard Scott Fountain, special teams coach for Arkansas, mentioning the competition. We should probably tell you who's that against. With Cam Little no longer on campus, you've got a battle with three guys. Vito Calvaruzzo, who was on campus here earlier on his career, transfers to Wisconsin in 2022, transfers back in 2023, had to sit out because of the rules, and is now here. Kyle Ramsey, another transfer, and then Matthew Shipley as well. Ramsey has been at Abilene Christian Houston. Shipley was at Hawaii. And when it comes to those three guys competing, here's what else Scott Fountain had to say about the competition.
I really felt like Shipley and Vito had a good spring, but just when we got in the stadium, we try to grade them three ways. One is when nobody's around, we call it just charting. There's no pressure, just me, other than me, yelling at them a little bit. And then we go live. So live now they have a rush, and then we do scrimmages. And they were pretty dang good in live and just charting, nobody watching, but in the stadiums, what concerned, they were 50% in the spring. So Ramsey, really excited about him. He played at Abilene Christian, was at Houston 4 years. Great kids, already graduated with an engineering degree. He's had a good summer. They've all had a good summer, and we're really just getting into camp. Today was our first day to kick our live field goals.
Well, the thing about these three, Vito didn't really get a chance to kick at Wisconsin, Chuck, but the other guys each made 14 field goals this last year. One guy in Ramsey was 14 of 15, and then Shipley was 14 of 18. So you didn't just pull two scrubs in. I mean, we've seen Scott Fountain get some highly recruited guys. These were guys that have played college ball and made some field goals. It's just kind of different pressure now being in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see him compete and see ultimately who wins the job. You know, when Vito was here before, he was strictly kickoffs. I sort of think that's what it's going to be for him again. If, you know, when you get right down to it, I may be wrong, but I sort of think that's how it's going to play out. And the other two guys are going to compete, and somebody's going to win the job. And hopefully whoever wins the job will be consistent and keep the job.
Yeah.
We brought up the go ahead, Tommy.
I was just going to say, and I know Scott Fountain and the specialists were front and center with the media over the weekend, but I just can't wait till we get to this first scrimmage coming up. They're in pads, and you know what I want to hear about is Taylon Green. What's he doing in practice? What filters out? What have we seen in the periods that we are allowed to watch? Because that's going to be the difference, guys, in winning and losing is how does that offensive line mesh? How does that quarterback mesh with the rest of this offense? All of those things. Plus, you know, can you improve on I thought firm foundation you had with your defense last year. So, I mean, it's fine to be talking about specialists and kickers, and they do make a difference, but I don't think that's ultimately the entree on the plate here.
I think with Taylon, based on what I've read and based on what I've watched, he's had accuracy issues the first few days, and it's been a small sample size that the media have seen, but when they've watched it, that's kind of what they pointed out. It's a matter of, I mean, some guys are practice players and they look really good in practice, and other guys, they play better in games. So for him, you mentioned we were talking about the communication aspect, like first big game of the season when they go to Stillwater, it's like, does he fully feel comfortable under Bobby Petrino? We were talking to Casey Dick about this a week or so ago in his first year under coach, is having that 6 months or so of getting ready for this upcoming season. Is that enough for that second game of the year? We'll have to wait and see. But I do think that's the little glimpse that we at least get to watch. It gives us something to either have an opinion about one way or another about this offense, which I think always people flock to more than the defensive side of the football.
I don't know if he struggled with accuracy or not. I've heard some people say that he will, like all quarterbacks, you know, miss some and hit some. I don't know if he has or not. It's been a small sample size. I wouldn't read much of anything into some of the things that we're seeing or hearing necessarily right now. But we know he's going to be the quarterback. We've got a pretty good idea about how he's going to be who he's going to be throwing to. We've got a pretty good idea about who the offensive linemen are going to be. So I just think there's probably going to be an ebb and a flow to his preseason. And then the season's, the actual season's going to start. And that's when the money's going to be on the table, so to speak, and we're going to find out what he's really made of. But these open periods for the media, you have to remember if they practice for 2 hours and you watch 20 or 30 minutes, there's a lot that happened after you left.
Good point, yeah.
And so some of the time the narrative that starts based on what somebody watches in the first 20 or 30 minutes, sometimes that's on the money, sometimes it's not.
Yeah. I know this, with football season close, it means you're starting to make your plans on where to watch games or where to eat before and after the games. And Sassy's, there are 2 locations in Fayetteville, should be at the top of your list. The original Red House on College, and, of course, Sassy's Barbecue and Grill just off the Weddington exit on Steamboat. Those are the places to go. TVs everywhere to watch on Saturdays or any day of the week. And, of course, the Razor Packs that you can take to your tailgate and really be the hero. Stop in at either location for Sassy's for great barbecue, award-winning smoked wings that are the favorite here on the Morning Rush, and, of course, everything to get you game day ready. That's Sassy's on College and just off the Weddington exit. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
So Arkansas had a banner recruiting weekend for football. We're going to talk about it. Otis Kirk joins us on the other side. Get his thoughts on what Arkansas was able to get in terms of commitments next.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine, our high temperatures this afternoon climbing into the middle 90s, mainly clear sky tonight, no overnight low into the low 70s. Tomorrow, sunny skies, upper 90s, lots of sunshine for Wednesday, a high temperature right around mid 90s north, upper 90s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 24 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
I got $100 that Arkansas gets absolutely 0 sacks on Quinn Ewers or Archman, either one.
$100, Brian. So during the course of a game, you think that Arkansas is not going to get to a Texas quarterback one time during the course of a 60-minute football game?
No, I do not think you have a strong enough pass rush or defense to sack Texas quarterback one time.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got 2 gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
So we're just talking fall camp in the last hour. We're going to continue to talk some football. We're going to talk about what's going on the recruiting trail, where Arkansas went into Oklahoma and got the #1 player in the class of 2026. Big get for Travis Williams, Deke Adams, and the rest of that defensive staff, plus Coach Pittman. I know was happy about that. We're going to give our thoughts, or get our thoughts from Otis Kirk coming up in just one bit, as Arkansas gets 4 commits in football and then finalize their basketball roster, Tommy.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Great brands, Grand Design, Forest River. They've even got Brinkley now, and they're going to be bringing the Brinkley models to Fort Smith. The very latest in luxury fifth wheel innovations are right there. I'm a button and gadget guy, and Brinkley's got them. If you like features, you're going to like the Brinkley. I love the lifetime warranty because you never have to worry about a thing when you buy at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
So, Otis, this is a guy that was recruited all over the place. Speaking to Colton Yarborough, class of 2026, defensive end, 6'4", 6'5", Durant, Oklahoma. Who did Arkansas have to fend off to get his commitment over the weekend?
Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma State, several others. He had 25 offers in all. Yeah, he's this kid's legit. I mean, he's big time. I mean, we're talking about #1 player in 2026. I mean, if you want some comparisons, Luke Hasz was #1 player in Oklahoma when they got him. Those players turned out. Quinn Grovey, Keon Hatcher. We could go on and on about Oklahoma kids that have done well at Arkansas. And they went in there Saturday, got the #1 player in 2026 and the #5 player in 2026. So that is a safety from Lawton MacArthur. But that was a big day for Deke Adams getting Yarborough. That's the second weekend in a row that he's got the 4-star defensive lineman, Deke. Just incredible. Colton Yarborough is the real deal. They offered him in the 8th grade, if that tells you anything. I mean, yeah, 8th grade. And Arkansas was very consistent with him. That made the difference at the end. When they called up here, Deke took the call. I'm sure he had busy things going on, but he or Sam Pittman always took the call. And they brought that up, that was a factor, that when they called, one of the two always took the call. You know, Deke was FaceTiming them Saturday down there when they were doing the announcement. But man, I tell you, this Colton Yarbrough's don't grow on trees, and for Arkansas to go in there and get him, that's huge. I mean, he's just one of the best players in the country in that 2026 class. I think Rivals has him like 117, but I think he is as good as anybody in the country. And I said that before he committed, so I'm not saying that because he's a Razorback. I said that for 3 or 4 weeks before he committed, that I felt like he was as good as anybody in the country.
And Otis, Durant's is close to Dallas, probably closer to Dallas than it is Norman, Oklahoma. So for
very close,
right? So for not just to beat out Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, and you mentioned Georgia and LSU, but I mean Durant's less than an hour from the Texas border. In fact, it's not. It's closer. It's close. It's just over an hour from Dallas. So you're beating at a lot of Texas schools too.
Yeah, they did. Baylor, all of them were in there. I mean, he talked about that. He said it was 3.5 hours to Fayetteville, and he said that was Georgia was a long way from home. This is the factor. This is home was not the factor, but it was a factor, if that makes sense. And 3.5 hours to Fayetteville, he said, was just a sweet drive. And I drove it Saturday down there back, and it depending on construction, unfortunately Saturday. I know every year we go to the A&M game in Dallas, it's a ton of construction through Oklahoma. Saturday, there was only one little hiccup at McAllister on the way down, none on the way back. And so, you could make it in 3.5 hours in that instance. So, he liked that. That was a factor with him. But, Durant it's about as close to Texas as you can get. That's a good point because you can't get much closer to Texas than Durant is.
Yeah, I know it's
not being Texas.
I know people that live or work in Durant and they live in Sherman. So, another football hotbed. So, so you trade number one players in the state. Arkansas's number one player right now is committed to a school in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's number one player is committed to a school in Arkansas. What do you make of that little footnote?
It's a crazy world, man. It just shows you I don't know anymore how much home state allegiance with the NIL and all the other stuff going on. Seriously, I don't know how much home state means to these kids. I'm not putting anybody down at all, but I'm just saying right now I think they're looking at other factors. And, when you've got NIL involved, travel away from home is not the issue that it was, 5-10 years ago? I mean, you could go and they're getting reimbursed for everything more than a scholarship. And it's a crazy world. I mean, recruiting's crazy. And people say, well, he's 26, he may change his mind. I specifically asked him about that. That doesn't mean he can't. But he told me, he said, I'll stay strong. This kid really liked art. I mean, his parents, he's had relatives graduate from Arkansas. So it's not like Arkansas just came out of the blue to get him. I mean, he's had relatives graduate from Arkansas. His parents were decked out in Arkansas stuff. I feel like if there's anybody going to stay strong and stay committed, it's him. I mean, I really do. I've known the kid all these years. I mean, they personally invited me down there Saturday. That's why I went. And I've known him for years. I'd be surprised if he changed his mind because there's a lot. I mean, a lot could happen in 2 years. Yeah, I acknowledge that. But he is solid and like I said, he didn't really just throw darts to pick Arkansas. He said, I asked him, was this, when you're talking about the schools he had, 25 chances, 25 offers, I said, was this a tough decision? I really thought he was going to go on about how tough it was. He said, no, it's a very easy decision. But see what I'm saying? I don't see him changing his mind. That doesn't mean he won't, but I've done this a long time, and I read kids pretty well, and he seems pretty solid to me. I mean, he just said, no, it was a very easy decision. Honestly, guys, I've had very few kids tell me it was an easy decision when they chose a college. And a lot of them didn't have 25 offers, I can assure you.
Otis, do you feel like he's more committed to being a Razorback, or his commitment's really to Deke Adams and to Sam Pittman?
Both. I think both. I mean, obviously, Deke Adams and Sam Pittman are big, huge factors. Those are the big factors. They are. But I think he's committed to Arkansas, too. I don't know. I mean, if Deke and Sam left, then everything's going to be up there, obviously, anyway. Not just with him, but with everybody. But I feel like Arkansas, it's just like I said, he's got relatives graduating there. His parents like Arkansas a lot. It's a distance to home that he's comfortable with. There's a lot of factors going for Arkansas there's a lot of factors because of Sam Pittman and Deke Adams, but there's also just a lot of factors favoring Arkansas as well, if you understand what I'm saying. I mean, there's other things besides those two that drew him to the Arkansas Razorbacks. He was visiting up here, and he's been up here, you know, this staff has made him a priority. He realizes that. One thing he kept saying, they kept it real. He kind of said something about, he went to Georgia last week and visited too, right before he came to the Hog Wild hangout. Or no, it was the week before last, because he went to Georgia before the Saturday before last when he came to the Hog Wild hangout. And he said something about Georgia he said, well, they did keep it real. He kind of caught what he was saying and changed it, but I felt like something, Georgia wasn't Arkansas. That was his words. Georgia wasn't Arkansas. He said Arkansas is Arkansas. He didn't say Deke Adams or something. He said Arkansas is Arkansas. So I really feel comfortable about Colton. One day he'll be a Razorback. I just think that he's and they're getting a great player there. I mean, he's not good. He's great. I mean, and I hate to hang out on a kid in the 11th grade, but and by the way, if anyone's interested in seeing him play, they play Grabbing on September the 13th, I believe. It's the Friday night before the UAB game in Fayetteville. So it'll be a good chance if you're up here for the Arkansas UAB game to go out to Grabbing and watch Colton play. Durant plays Grabbing that night at Grabbing.
Otis, we've asked you recruiting thus far. Fall camp, you've only got a first couple days to see what's happening. What have been some of your takeaways from the glimpses of Arkansas practice you've gotten to watch?
Yeah, I've been so busy with recruiting. I've seen some practices. I think that Taylor Green is really throwing the ball well. I think he's got a lot of receivers that he feels comfortable throwing to, not just one. Obviously, Broden made the one-handed catch the first day, maybe the first 4 or 5 plays, if I remember right, where that was the rave of the day that day, because Broden he snagged that one-handed catch. Tesla, whatever, how do you pronounce his name? I'm sorry. He caught a ball similar to that Saturday night, one-handed catch. So the receivers, Satanas looked good. The defensive backs have played well. I really think this is going to be a good team, guys. When I say a good team now, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you they're going to be 10-2 and go to the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying. But I'll really be surprised if this team doesn't win 7 to 8 games. That's my thinking, that they're going to win 7 to 8 games. Now, September's going to be huge for them. We all know that. I mean, but I think they're going to be really good. And I think if you get to 7 or 8 wins, then more is possible. But I think September tells the story. You go to Oklahoma State, you got UAB we talked about here. Then you go to Auburn, and you play A&M in Arlington. If they come out of that 4-1 or 4-1, they're going to be in good shape. 3-2, they're going to be decent, you know. And I think that you can come out of that 3-2 and get to 8 wins on the season. It's going to require some beating some teams you're not expected to beat here in Fayetteville. But they've got to play better in Fayetteville than they did last year. We'll all acknowledge that. I mean, they didn't play well at home last year, and you can't do that. And if that happens, then if they don't play well at home, then it's going to be a long season. But you get through that first month, you've only got 2 road trips after that. One to Mississippi State, who may be the weakest team in the SEC, and then you've got one to Missouri, who obviously has Arkansas's number. So you've got to win some games along your way at home, and I'm counting on them doing that.
Well, Otis, we'll leave it there, man. It is a hot take Monday. That is a hot take as we close you out. Appreciate you jumping in, giving us some insight on Colton Yarborough and others this morning, and we'll chat again hopefully during football season.
Thanks for asking me, guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a good day.
All right, good stuff from Otis Kirk, KNWA and Pig Trail Nation. Tommy, you asked a good question about Yarborough and kind of his allegiance of sorts. I do wonder if there's a change down the road in staff. Some of these kids you got committed, not just Yarborough, but others would then defer to another school. I think that was a good question. Now, he's a reminder, he's a 26 kid, but that is something I think a lot of people have been asking too.
Yeah, and anymore, you never know where the allegiance lie. All right, we'll get Chuck back in here on the conversation on the other side in our Morning Rush Daily Question. Again, we're going to go Olympic theme on the other side of the break, revolving around Scotty Scheffler. Gold medal or green jacket? You could get one or the other, guys. Which would you rather have? We'll talk about that coming up. Brought to you by River City Coatings in Van Buren. Go to rivercitycoatings.com. I took some small metal items I didn't want to just paint them because I needed them to last forever. that worked for me, and River City Coatings got it done in one day. They were able to add that to a batch that they were doing. I don't know if batch is the right word, but it works for me. And they got it turned around in a day. They don't. And I said, "Is this normal?" They said, "We don't. We deal in days, not weeks around here." So if you need patio furniture, rims, parts for your farm equipment, something that you want to never have to worry about maintaining with paint again, River City Coatings can affordably powder coat these items for you so that you don't ever have to worry about it moving forward. No project's too big or small. The one I had was a very small project. They took care of it affordably and quickly. They could do the same for you. That's River City Coatings. Right near 540 on Sycamore in Van Buren. Go to rivercitycoatings.com for more details.
All right, you heard Otis's hot take, you heard Brian's hot take. What is your hot take on Arkansas football? We'll also get to that after your Morning Rush Daily question coming up here on a Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Child's Plains, touchdown.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey,
ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link.
We'll wait for an answer.
All right, let's go back to the weekend at the Olympics. Paris. We all like golf on this show, so Scotty Scheffler's done two incredible things, guys that we would all love to do in our lifetimes that we're never going to do. But if we had the choice, he's won the Masters and now he's won a gold medal. I'm gonna wave the old Morning Rush magic wand here, Chuck. I'm going to give you the chance to win one or the other. Olympic gold in golf or the green jacket, and you could be the Masters champion. Which would you take?
It's a tough question. I mean, that's tough. I mean,
he's a guy that has both. I mean, I guess he's the only one in the world that may have both. If I stop and think about it.
And it'll probably somewhere, if golf continues to be an Olympic sport, it'll probably happen again somewhere, somewhere down the line. If you win the Masters, you're going to be in the hunt for the gold medal, I would guess. I would probably, in all honesty, I would say the green jacket. And I know that, it makes you sound unpatriotic, but I don't think of golf as a traditional Olympic sport. Whereas the Masters, when you think of golf, you think of the Masters. They are synonymous. Golf and the Olympics are not synonymous. So for that reason, I would respectfully, very respectfully, and understanding I may draw the ire of some people, I would say the green jacket.
I'm with you. I mean, for some of the same reasons you said, but I understand the club that Scheffler's in is very exclusive, but because it's so new. But yeah, I mean, to me, the green jacket, the way it changes your life, and to me, it's the top prize in golf. For a lot of the same reasons you said, I would, and I won't even apologize for it, I would choose being Masters champion.
You guys are looking at this the wrong way.
I figured you would straighten us out.
One pays $37,000, the other pays $3.6 million. Of course, you're taking the green jacket in this situation. And listen, at
this point, money's not a concern.
Well, here's the thing, though. For Scotty Scheffler, it doesn't matter, obviously. Mm-hmm. But for someone who really does have to choose between one or the other, winning the Masters is life-changing. I mean, life-changing. You become an instant star, and you're going to be a star for a long time. Olympic fame for most of the medalists is fleeting.
Mm-hmm.
We remember some of them, but for the vast majority of them, it is literally 15 minutes of athletic fame. Whereas when you win the Masters, they talk about you every year.
Yeah. Every text we've received so far says Masters champion. JT, I'd pick the Masters all day, every day. Justin in Fayetteville says green jacket. The field is tougher and larger, so there's more competition. I didn't think about it that way, but but for me, it's an easy call. It would be Masters champion.
I think also the point Chuck made. When I think Olympics, I don't even know if golf cracks my top 15.
This is what, the second Olympics they've had golf.
Yeah,
or at least in
the course. The course looked cool. But it's not.
Well, that was their goal, Ty. They wanted to look cool.
It looked cool, but yeah, I'm 100% on the green jacket.
All right, what do you think?
Who's the biggest star of the Olympics?
I think Simone Biles so far.
I think it's Snoop Dogg.
Oh, well.
Snoop Dogg is the biggest star of the Olympics. Ty, you talked a little bit earlier about the L.A. Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make Tom Cruise the biggest star there. I'm not knocking Snoop Dogg. I'm just saying, if you're really honest about this, the biggest star of the Olympic Games has been Snoop Dogg. You know how much he's getting paid?
Zilch?
I read this.
Oh.
$500,000 a day plus expenses.
Wow.
500. Now you start doing math. They're there for 2 weeks, boys.
Just to be there.
Nobody's making more money this week than Snoop Dogg.
And
that's what the Olympics have come to, fellas.
You said something
Snoop
key
Dogg.
there. Plus expenses. Can you imagine the expense account? That's what I'd like to read. Give me the hotel receipt and the
His
expense
rider.
Oh my Lord! Can you
His
imagine?
rider is incredible. I'm quite certain. His rider's incredible.
I don't, Chuck. I don't know if you saw Wallace Spearman was next to him at some point this weekend. I'm forgetting the day, but
Well, he was next to Wallace
yeah,
Spearman.
There we go. There we go. No disrespect there, Wallace, but I thought that was kind of a cool Razorback tie, and we got a text about that earlier. So I didn't. I was unaware that he was making that type of cash, but now I know. And man, he's lucky.
Good to be Snoop Dogg, isn't it?
It does kind of tell you, though, fellas, honestly, where the Olympics are. I mean, Snoop Dogg, they're paying Snoop Dogg $500,000 every 24 hours.
For 3 weeks.
Now, I'm guessing it's been money well spent, if you want to get right down to it. I'm sure it's money well spent. But that's what sports is now. When someone says it's not entertainment, oh, yes, it is.
Who has a bigger expense account, Chuck? Quinn on road trips or Snoop Dogg in Paris?
Well, Snoop Dogg in Paris has a bigger expense account, but Quinn's got a big one.
I saw John Travolta there this weekend as well, so I'm guessing are all these guys getting paid for FaceTime so NBC can show them?
Some of that stuff is they're getting paid. Some of that stuff is worked out by their agents. When a star is shown at a big sporting event, it's seldom by accident. Now, like, say, for example, when the Knicks play or the Lakers play, there are stars there that are big enough to warrant a shot without some kind of, like, negotiation. But when you see, like, a fringe star introduced courtside at a ball game, there's been a deal made.
Yeah.
Because those are big moments. Those are big moments. And for the mega stars who've had it happen multiple times, it just continues the brand. But for someone who's kind of right there on the cusp, getting a shot on the Olympics would be a big deal. But John Travolta might have a new movie out. I don't know. You guys may know more about that than I do.
On that subject, I have a question for you. Y'all might not know this, but like Morgan Wallen had Brooks and Dunn there this weekend in Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones. Do they get paid for walking out with a concert with them? Okay. I would guess.
I read where the Hawk Tuah girl made more money walking out on stage at that Zach Bryan concert than she made in an entire year working at her job. So yes, hey, guys none of these stars need to walk out on the stage to continue to be stars. And of course they're getting paid in some form or fashion. They're compensated for their time. Yes.
My brother was at that concert this weekend. He went to Kansas City and saw Morgan Wallen. I don't know. I didn't ask. He just sent me a picture. I guess he had a great time. I didn't hear otherwise.
Hopefully he did.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by our friends at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. They've got 25 locations around our state to help you spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one. You can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the right financing option that is best for you. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or again, drop in any of the 25 locations of Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopaschal.com.
All right, some of you caught halftime on Friday, and some of you have heard it during our open this morning. Brian in Ozark had an interesting thought. His hot take on what Arkansas football is going to be for the upcoming Texas game on November the 16th.
Matter of fact, I got $100 that Arkansas gets absolutely 0 sacks on Quinn Ewers or Archman, either one.
$100, Brian. Yeah, so during the course of a game, you think that Arkansas is not going to get to a Texas quarterback one time during the course of a 60-minute football game?
I believe that our Texas offensive line, of course, they're rated, top 2 or 3 in college football. No, I do not think you have a strong enough pass rush or defense to sack Texas quarterback one time.
Well,
and if you ask Brian, name me one player on the defensive line at Arkansas, he might be able to name Landon Jackson.
No, he didn't even know how to.
Okay,
he didn't know his name.
So he has an opinion based on nothing.
Nothing. So that's his hot take on the Arkansas and Texas game. And again, it's Hot Take Monday, so we can tie in our hot takes this morning. If you want to jump in, do so on the hotline, 877-377-6963. Here's my hot take, and I saw this in an article in the last week or so. I was unaware there's only 3 Razorbacks in the history of Arkansas football that have gone over 1,000 yards during the course of a season. Jerry's right. It's one of them, Anthony Lucas, and I'm forgetting the last one. But there's only 3. And I thought that was a little surprising, especially during the Petrino. I think it's Colby Hamilton in 2012 was the other one. But I was a little surprised at that. I watched Andrew Armstrong last year, and I felt like at times he was held. I would watch him during the course of a game, and I felt like he'd be his corner or safety almost every single play. I know this is a step. I think it's like an Indiana Jones step in The Last Crusade where he's stepping out there. It doesn't look like there's anything there. But I think that Andrew Armstrong, under Bobby Petrino and along Taylor Green, saw their chemistry at SEC Media Days a little bit. There's always seems to be a fun back and forth between those two. I think he's going to be the 4th wide receiver in Razorback history to go for over 1,000 yards this year. Now, does that mean I think Arkansas is going to be 8-4? No. But I think he is going to be explosive under Bobby Petrino, and that is my hot take for Arkansas football in 2024, that he busts 1,000 yards.
Okay, we'll write it down. Ty's hot take, Andrew Armstrong, 1,000.
Goes over 1,000 yards.
Well, and, Arkansas is going to obviously – I believe Arkansas will pass the ball more this year because you had a quarterback that had design runs. I don't know how many design runs you're going to have out of this quarterback this year compared to KJ. This quarterback's not going to be able to do some of the things with his legs that KJ could do, where he could drag 2 grown men to the line to gain and get you a first down. Passing I think is going to be more part of it, and the play action is going to be more a part of this offense this year. So I think your chances of having a 1,000-yard receiver based on those things, Chuck, is reality.
I'm going to be interested to see early on if Taylor Green's total yardage, when we get to the end of ball games, the ratio between pass and run, and then compare that with what it's going to be like in the second half of the season or in the final third of the season. My point is that for teams to have 1,000-yard receivers, that quarterback generally when the pressure breaks down, he's going to throw it away, or he's going to look for, he's going to be able to buy a little time, and he's committed to throwing the ball. Green may be one of these guys where first sign of trouble, he's out of there. And so my point is your quarterback may run the ball to the point where you don't have enough opportunities for a guy necessarily. 1,000 yards is a lot of receiving yards in for a college football player. That's a lot of yards. And so I think how much your quarterback runs and whether or not he commits to the throw when things break down, I think sometimes that determines your receiver's stats because you might not have as many balls in the air.
And you've had some again, there's only 3 guys that have done it. Like Marcus Monk got close, George Wilson got close, Greg Childs, Anthony Eubanks, all those guys got close. Those are last couple decades really good wide receivers that didn't get past it. So there is something to say.
Childs got close while Wright passed it,
yes,
though, and those 2 guys were there together. So you had and Kobe Hamilton, you mentioned his name earlier. He was of that era. So there were a lot of balls in the air. You knew when Ryan Mallett went back to throw, if the protection broke down, he was still committed to throwing the football. Whereas a guy like KJ was, and Green will be apparently, when the protection breaks down, they're gone. Yeah. At least that would be my take. And again, statistically, for it to all add up at the end, you got to have enough chances. And but I do think Armstrong's poised to have a great year. And I'm like you. I'm anxious to watch him play.
Yeah,
hey, it's another hot week.
It's a big ask, though. The big ask.
No, you're right. That's exactly right. Hey, it's another hot week around our region, and we're not done yet. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. They give you peace of mind. We talk about them a lot, and we certainly do talk about peace of mind. Their plant protection program let you know that all year round, regardless of the season, they're going to have you up and humming, and you're not going to deal with problems because they've already been taken care of. But, you know, this is also a company that's been part of the community for a long time. They've been in Northwest Arkansas for over 50 years. Our friend Charlie Boyce, former Razorbacks, got, I guarantee you, the best softball team ever created out there with all the former Hog baseballers that play out there. But they know what they're doing, too. And I think that's what you'll find when you do business with them. They've expanded. They're all over the region. If you can hear me, they're in your backyard. You can schedule your appointment at GoPaschal.com.
You know, many may not know, in addition to being the voice of the Razorbacks, our man Chuck Barrett is a amateur weather watcher, amateur meteorologist. You keep a good eye on the weather. What's going on with Debbie? I've been watching the news and this.
Lots of rain.
It's coming in. Are we going to get any of that on the outer bands? Or, I mean, I know that people that are planning these last week vacations to the Gulf Coast and in the eastern seaboard, you're going out to Charleston.
Well, not anymore.
You're not going?
No.
Oh.
I can't.
Well,
when were you going to leave?
Thursday. And now we're in the midst of
What's
this.
today? Monday?
Yeah.
You'll be fine by Thursday.
We're in the midst of this battle with Airbnb trying to get our money back because of Hurricane. Is it Debbie or Debbie?
So where are you going to go? Debbie with a Y.
We hadn't figured.
Yeah, I noticed that. No IE on this one.
Yeah, we haven't figured it out just yet. But that has been
Well, it's made landfall. I mean, I'm looking at the radar right now. I mean, they're talking about like 2 feet of rain over there in the place where you're going to go, Ty. So might be a little waterlogged.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to get our money back and figure out the flights.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I saw where
it hasn't been fun.
I saw where we were going to be like down in the low 90s later this week. I didn't know we were going to get much out of that thing or not. So
no, it doesn't look to me. I mean, it's going up the eastern seaboard. This is not one of those that even like made it to the Alabama state line and then started going to the northeast. This one's it's just going to go up the eastern seaboard.
You occasionally chastise me for not looking at the weather or watching the news, and I just say I never need it. This would be an instance where I probably should, especially as the one that
I didn't know anything about that.
As the one that planned our trip. Now, I will say this.
Noted trip planner, by the way.
Yes, noted. I've never booked hurricane insurance for any flight, any booking. I've been to 10-plus places, been on the eastern side, whatever. Never done it once. Didn't do it this time. And now it's going to come back
to
Ty,
when you start criticizing play callers for their game planning this fall, remember that even the best laid plan, sometimes things happen that are out of your control.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're named Debbie, you know.
Debbie is the
that might be the only female to ruin your weekend plans, Debbie.
She ruined all this. She ruined this year, but I don't know what we're going to do between.
My point is there's always an outside influence. And I guess next year you're going to have a plan B, man. Every one of these trips you're planning, you're going to have to plan have some kind of plan B.
I guess. Oh, that's it. Any advice to try and recoup money?
I don't know about recoup money, but trip insurance. I booked a trip for next year. My kids are at that age. I only got a few spring breaks left with them. I booked a spring break, and I know Arkansas may be on their way to the Final Four at that point. But anyway, point being,
don't worry about
I paid the $99 to get my money back if something happens, because life happens. So the $99 seemed like a well spent investment to ensure that if something goes wrong, I've got a safety net.
We paid $5,700 for this Airbnb.
Wow,
and we're only going to get $920 back. If they only give us $920 back, I will never book it with Airbnb again. Ever.
Oh wow, that's going to break.
Well,
they're going to go under, Chuck.
It's going to break.
The rating is going down.
I have a 5-star rating.
No, they're rating with you.
Yeah, and I have a good rating. You would think they would help out a good customer, and in this case, they're just trying to screw us over. Hopefully, they don't. We'll see what happens.
Here's what you can do.
That's a hard pill to swallow.
I do kind of feel bad for you on that.
Eat like $400 a person, and the couples have to eat like $900.
Bunch of people going on.
Probably should just go to Gaston's instead.
That was going to be my next suggestion. Take them to Gaston's. They got that big lodge down at the end. You get how many you got in your group?
9.
9. Well, you can go to the house for 9, or you can go down there for 20 or 21 people. They got room for the place that when plans go awry. 870-431-5800. 5202. Talk to Cheryl or Jacob or any of Clint's great staff there. They'll find you an alternate plan because of Debbie. You can go fishing. Your group would have just as good a time. High-speed internet's there. The pool's there. You can watch the planes land, come and go. I mean, I can't think of a better plan B than going to Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, first class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
This is the game that they're saying national championship. And we're floating in a sea of red.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge Side-by-Side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Work
Start now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, and online at Lavorne, LOVVORN lumber.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hogcats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Apparently, Traylon Burks also had 1,000 yards in 2021 when we went on the Hog record books. I guess I was on an outdated portion of the website. So 4 guys in Arkansas history have surpassed 1,000 yards. All right, let's get to your Hog Update. On the subject of wide receivers, a couple guys are in the role for kickoff and punt returner, and that's an exciting part of the special teams game. Here's what Scott Fountain had to say about guys that could possibly be in those roles.
Jordan Anthony's a kid that's got a lot of speed. He's probably more of a kick returner than a punt returner. You do have Jalen Braxton, who I think is a good returner as well. Been using Monte Harrison back there a little bit, trying him. He's a big kid, punt returner and kick returner. So I meet with him one day in my office, and I'm saying, okay, he's 29. I said, he brings that punt returner. And I go, golly, man, you're a pretty big guy. Can you do that? He said, Coach, I play professional baseball. I'm a center fielder. I can track a ball down. So I said, okay, you got a good point. And he's a big kid. So anyway, we'll see how it all shakes out. But I think we have some really good competition there. And Isaiah is obviously the returning guy, but we're going to let him compete in camp.
So it sounds like there's a couple guys that are in that group, in that line. We saw Isaiah Sategna take one back against BYU this past season. Kind of fits the mold for Monte Harrison, who, like he told Coach Fountain, play the role of center field. I know there's differences between that two, but I thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit on Coach talking about those positions, guys.
I could see Harrison being an up guy. Probably not your deep returner, but I could see him in your return game being a short guy. By short, I mean, if the punt or the kick's short, I would imagine he'll be out there in some form or fashion. If nothing else, is a guy that can get people out of the way. To me, I didn't see anything last year that made me think at the end of the season, well, somebody other than Sategna is going to have that role next year. Doesn't mean that there won't be a player emerge, but I certainly, at the end of last season and in the spring and even now, I won't say assume, but I would think that Sategna is going to be that guy. Jordan Anthony probably could have a role there on kickoff returns, just because of that speed. If Harrison has a role, I would tend to believe it would be as a, sometimes you send 2 guys back, and I could see him being the up guy. I would find it hard to believe that somebody's going to unseat Sategna, though, unless he's got an injury issue or he gets a case of the drops.
Yeah. If it's close, could he be too valuable on offense as a wide receiver to risk him back there?
No. I think. I mean, it's close now.
Yeah.
It's close last year. In fact, he was probably better as a returner. More valuable as a returner than he was in any role at all. But no, I think if he's the guy, he's the guy.
Yeah.
I didn't see any muffs or anything last year that would lead me to believe that he'd be again usurped or whatever. But you just never know, and we'll see what it ends up shaking out. You would like to have that aspect for your football team that you haven't necessarily had the last couple of years. We have dynamic special teams.
Well, I mean, you said a minute ago he brought a punt return back for a touchdown. That's pretty dynamic, and so sometimes in when we use the word dynamic in special teams, we want him to be Devin Hester every time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't agree that they've not been dynamic the last couple of years. It's just not helped them win enough ball games to keep everybody happy. I mean, Cam Little was pretty dynamic. That punt return for a touchdown is pretty dynamic. I think they've had some moments in that area, and they're going to need more of them.
Yeah. And we just don't see kickoff returns anymore. I mean, just a handful for the year. It's pretty well touchbacks. But that part's been more or less legislated out of the game. I mean, we just rarely get kickoff returns
Now,
anymore.
here's the question. Are they going to legislate it back in
Well,
the way the NFL's trying to do?
Well, Scott Fallon also got asked about that. Here's what he had to say.
The NFL was about 22% on returns last season. And their whole deal is they want to get the return game back in the game of football. So from that perspective, I think it's a good thing. If you have a phenomenal returner back there, it's obviously not a good thing for the kickoff cover unit, But I certainly think if they continue this on maybe a 3-year trend, we'd obviously see it in college.
I would think it's coming just based on how college football.
Common sense would make you believe that it probably is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we only saw a little bit of it Thursday night between the Bears and the Texans, but I think you're going to see not Devin Hester-esque like you brought up earlier, but you'll see some more kickoff returns.
Well, you'll see some. Everything's going to be closer together. It's going to be more like a punt return than a kickoff return necessarily, because it's not going to be sky kicks, but it's going to be a lot different.
Yeah.
It's kind of like hitting your pitching wedge 100 because you're almost having to place it. You can't go too far. There's a penalty where they move it up to the 30, and if you go too short, you're putting your kickoff coverage team in a bad situation. All right, last thing here in your Hog Update, some recruiting news. Again, Arkansas football gets 4 guys committed over the weekend. Cameron Settles from Little Rock Parkview, #1 player in the class of 2026 in Oklahoma, Colton Yarborough. Also, Shannon Blair, JUCO kid, and then Adam Austin, who was also in the 26 class too. So you got 4 football commits, plus the basketball roster has been roundabout. Casimir Chavis, who sounds like he was committed to Washington for a while, guys, and then flipped to Arkansas this month, and that finalizes your basketball roster, Chuck.
Yep, we know them all now. We'll just have to figure out who the numbers are when it's when it's time to. So, I thought from a football perspective they had a very good weekend recruiting wise. Very good weekend.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes moving forward.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8Sparky.
Guys, the White Sox are still losing. That streak is still going. Now,
what's it to now?
20? Yep, 20. It's that number 20. Now, Andrew Benintendi's at least doing his part.
This one, a rocket to right field, looking up, and it is gone. 9th home run of the season for Andrew Benintendi. As the White Sox comeback continues, it's a 2-run shot, and the lead cut down to 3.
They scored 7 runs in their last game, just gave up.
I didn't exactly hear the crowd going wild there. When that ball
Well,
went
they
down.
love their Indians here in Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So listen, this is their broadcaster, John Schriffen, describe how each of these losses have at least been unique.
You know, when you look back on this streak that we're on right now, 18 losses in a row, each one has been uniquely painful.
Now, that was at least prior to that 20th loss that we just referred to. But, guys, we did
hard to be a company man on a 19-game losing streak.
Well, part of the thing, their roster's not good. I mean, it's terrible. But you see good players like Benintendi, you just see the wear that it has on him. I mean, the guy's bat 205. I mean, he's not having a bang-up year. But you see these good players that are veterans, it just wears on them. And as the season goes on, you know, it's just, the record speaks for itself.
Yeah. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. You get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Lee J and Chris and their team give you great service and great attention to detail as well. You'll love your experience at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Our boys Ruskin and Zach going to be at Top Golf today, Ty. We need to go out and hit some golf balls.
Yep, 2 to 6. So go by and see them in Rogers. They're doing a free boneless wing giveaway with every bay. Going to be exciting later on.
When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Here we go, Arkansas. The current Lotto jackpot is over $2.5 million. Someone right here in Arkansas is going to win a life-changing jackpot. How do we know? Because Lotto is only played and won here at home. Feeling good about your chances? Try Lotto today for only $2 per play. Get your ticket at any Arkansas Lottery retailer or on the Jackpocket app. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
This is the Morning Rush.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at AAABM.com or call us at 471-1771.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine, our high temperatures this afternoon climbing into the middle 90s, mainly clear sky tonight and overnight low into the low 70s. Tomorrow, sunny skies, upper 90s, lots of sunshine for Wednesday, a high temperature right around mid 90s north, upper 90s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 24 days.
I got $100 that Arkansas gets absolutely 0 sacks on Quinn Ewers or Archman, either one.
$100, Friday. So during the course of a game, you think that Arkansas is not going to get to a Texas quarterback one time during the course of a 60-minute football game?
No, I do not think you have a strong enough pass rush or defense to stack Texas quarterback one time.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got 2 gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
All right, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush here on a Hot Take Monday. We're going to try and get Alyssa Orange on with us live in Paris. We were texting last night. She is about 10 feet from Tom Brady, who apparently is also in attendance. Quite a number of celebrities in attendance. Chuck made the point earlier that I was unaware of. Snoop Dogg apparently getting $500,000 per day plus expenses to be there in Paris. That's not a bad gig, guys, whatsoever.
I'd just love to see
He's been there a while.
I'd love to see the expense account. I bet that's more entertaining than the $500,000 to see the items he spends their money on.
He's certainly been the center of attention. Now, I'll give him this. From the minute he walks out his hotel room door till the minute he walks back in, he's on. I mean, he's the brand. And you got to act like you love every picture anyone asks you for. So he's got a lot on his plate. But that's an incredible amount of money.
You know, some of the things that Snoop might spend money on, I don't know how you get receipts for. So, I mean, if you got to turn a receipt in, I'm not sure how he accomplishes that.
In fairness, I mean, Snoop's an old man now. He's not as young as he used to be. I doubt he burns it at both ends the way he once did.
I watched Old School this weekend. That movie's 21 some odd years old, and yeah, he's a little different than he was now. There's no question about it.
Presented by Speaker City.
Yeah, exactly. Snoop, my friend, Snoop Dogg.
When you see him take the shades off now, you kind of see the lines there.
Yeah.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Great brands like Grand Design, Forest River, And Brinkley's are bringing Brinkley's to Fort Smith in early 2025. We'll be telling you more about that. I love the people there. Chris and Lee J and their team just do an awesome job of making sure you feel taken care of, because when you go to Wheels, the owners are there, Chris and Lee J, and you're going to deal with them. So you know that your satisfaction is the top of their priority list. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's. Sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. 100% financing available. No job too small or large. Everything for the outside of the house.
All right, so important question to Alyssa Orange. Alyssa, have you seen Snoop Dogg yet? He seems to be one of the more popular, if not the most popular figure there in Paris. Have you seen him yet? Because I know you've seen Tom Brady.
I saw Tom Brady. Is that who you're talking about?
Oh, we were asking about Snoop Dogg. Have you seen Snoop Dogg yet?
Oh, you know what? I have not seen Snoop, but my coworkers did because they work the morning shift down at the TV Tower. And so they got to see Snoop and Martha Stewart a few days ago. I'm on the night side of the TV Tower, so I saw Michael Phelps my first week, and then we saw Tom Brady last night at volleyball.
Okay, yeah, you were saying that it sounded like Tom Brady was taking in some volleyball.
Man, they got this many stars, Alyssa, in Paris, which, I don't know. Can you imagine what LA is going to be like in 4 years?
LA is going to be a madhouse. It's funny. I was even talking to someone today. Paris has been able to take some of their HOV lanes. They've turned them into only Olympic official vehicle lanes. You do that in LA, people might riot. So they're going to have to figure out a traffic pattern, or because here in Paris too, this time of the year is when a lot of the Parisians take vacation anyways. So there are people here, but not a lot. We're not really experiencing the full Paris effect because a lot of the locals are out of town on vacation, or holiday as they call it. But I don't think people are going to do that in LA. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle all the additional traffic on top of the traffic they already have.
Thank God I don't live in LA, but it'd be a good time to go to Miami if I did in 4 years. So were you out at the golf event at all over the weekend? And if not, I know you saw Scotty Scheffler come from behind really in the final 9+ holes there in the stretch to win the gold medal. What were your observations from Scotty Scheffler's emotional win in Paris?
Yeah, I had contemplated going out to the golf course. It's about 45 minutes on one of the buses from where we are in the center of the city. And I chose to go to beach volleyball last night instead. So I didn't go out to golf, but it was pretty crazy to see the leaderboard when I opened up my phone later on. One was, holy cow, Scotty Scheffler, what in the world? And two, what happened to Xander Schauffele? And also, I think, too, if Wyndham Clark wouldn't have played as bad as he did the first 2 days, he'd have been right up there also. So it was just good to see another American at the top of that leaderboard winning another gold medal after Schauffele won it in Tokyo 4 years ago. So that was really cool, but a heck of a final round. What was it, a shot of 62?
Yeah,
heck of a final round for Scotty. Incredible.
My wife walking by the TV said, "What's wrong with his forehead?" Because it had no tan. Everything from eyebrow down was fully tan. So I guess it's good tanning, good sun tanning weather there in Paris.
It is hot, and it has been hot. We've had a little bit of rain every now and then, but then we're averaging, especially over last week, 90 or some degrees a day. Which they say the average in Paris during this July and August stretch is supposed to be 79. So I don't know what's happening, but it is hot. And it is definitely get a tan. I got a shoulder tan from carrying around and walking around all my bags around the city. So it's definitely, you got to watch out. Put the sunscreen on.
So, Alyssa, you mentioned the city. What else have you seen outside of the sporting events that we've mentioned? I know you had a few other things you wanted to check off your list. What else have you gone to see since we last chatted?
Did I get to tell you guys I saw 3x3 basketball? I can't remember.
We
but
suck.
I went down to. Okay, yeah, no, it wasn't great. But it was cool to go down there. They call it the Urban Park, which is where 3x3 Breakdancing is going to be there when it starts here in the next few days. There was skateboarding, the BMX, all of that stuff is at this urban park. It's a La Concorde, right beside the Grand Palais, which I have not been into yet, but that's where Taekwondo is, and I plan to get down there. But I've been out to Stade de France, which is where track is, and it's incredible. So cool to be in that venue and watching the track the last couple of days. That's where we've had my attention because we have so many Razorbacks, former Razorbacks, people who train in Fayetteville, competing, winning gold medals. You know, Ryan Krauser, first shot putter to win a gold medal in 3 straight Olympics, which is incredible. I know he's a UT grad, but he trains in Fayetteville. And then a fun fact about Ryan is he's actually coaching Roger Stonat, the discus thrower for Jamaica, who is an Arkansas grad as well. You guys might remember him going through Pro Day for the Razorbacks. But he's here representing Jamaica in the discus, and Ryan is his coach. So now that he's got his gold medal around his neck, he gets to go coach Roger, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, 3 straight for him. Right. You mentioned I think it's the Stade de France. I think that's reportedly where Tom Cruise is going to be rappelling from to get ready for the LA Olympics. Is that something I would guess you're going to try and take in at the conclusion?
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's what he's going to be doing. And yeah, it'll be at the Stade de France, the closing ceremonies. However, we as the Next Star team, to celebrate our 3.5 weeks of work on top of the work we put in beforehand, getting here, are going to do a dinner cruise on the Seine River at night.
Oh, wow.
So that is where I will be.
Yeah, good choice. All right, what's the one event that you're anticipating? Can't wait to see this coming up today or tomorrow.
Ooh, well, we've gymnastics is going on right now, and I haven't been down there, so I won't be able to see that. You know, again, I've got to get to breaking. I've got to get to breaking and Taekwondo. But again, track is going to have my full attention. If I'm not there, we have someone there getting people I need. So that is the big centerpiece right now for me these last couple of days here.
All right. What's the best thing you've eaten so far in Paris?
Ooh, man. I have to still go back to my bread pudding. I know we talked about that once already.
I was thinking maybe you'd top that.
Well, I had a fish and ratatouille dish yesterday, which was really delicious. So that was very good. And that's like a standard French dish, right? So I have to say that. I've had a great Nutella and banana crepe made on a little street vendor outside the Arc de Triomphe, where we've done some live shots, and that was really good. But I got to tell you, they've got this 1664 beer. And after our live shots, a couple of days, we call it beer and fries. We get some McDonald's French fries and have some 1664s in the hotel lobby, and they are delicious. And we're trying to figure out how we can get some back with us to the United States.
Well,
so
if you do,
I'll let you know how that goes.
If you do bring some back, bring some of the press box for the UAB game, Alyssa, or bring them Stillwater when
you go.
When we see you. Oh, she said 1664?
1664, yep.
Okay. All right. Well,
that doesn't sound like anything would pair more perfectly with French fries than that. So.
It doesn't.
There we go.
All right.
1664 and French fries. It's been wonderful.
Well, Alyssa, I know it's 3:11 there. There's probably a lot of events going on, so we'll let you go. We appreciate you giving us an update live from Paris, not just on some Razorbacks, but some other crazy events. Enjoy the rest of your trip, and we might check in one more time.
Thank you, guys. It's good to hear some familiar voices.
Good to hear from you. Halfway around the world, or maybe all the way around the world. Well, you couldn't go all the way around, but Alyssa with us live from Paris. What a neat assignment. 3.5 weeks. I know as a mom, that's got to be hard for her as a mom and a wife to be away that long. But what a neat assignment to do once again for her, Chuck, to be at the Olympics, particularly in a place like Paris.
Well, being dad's probably a whole lot different deal for 3.5 weeks too. While she's gone, no, that's I'm happy for Alyssa. She really does a great job and loves what she does, and you can tell that. And so, I'm happy she's getting to go because I know that while she's there, she'll provide some very good reporting, which she has. And yes, I would think that having a chance to do that would be clearly the highlight of a career highlight.
Well, and it makes sense for coverage in our part of the world just because of the track program at Arkansas and all of the connections to your track program being there. I mean, so perfect time to have someone from our part of the world there.
I would imagine, I don't know this, but one of the things that makes it such a worldwide event, makes it such a phenomenon, I would imagine the number of media credentials is just mind-blowing. And if you've got someone from your area and you've got a media outlet close by that can find the way to get someone there budget-wise, I would imagine there are many what I would call small-town reporters who are there following stories, because the Olympics are about stories.
Mm-hmm.
They're about people from, and it's not just, obviously, we pay attention to the ones from our country.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about all the media from the United States, and then you multiply it and consider that now you've got media from all over the world. So it's, I'm sure, just staggering what it all looks like.
You ask about food, Tommy. My uncle was in Paris with my aunt, and he said the best thing. He just sent me a picture of the steak, and is it taking frites? Is that how you say it? Fritas?
For the French fries, yeah.
So that was what he apparently said was his favorite food over in Paris.
Well, you can't never go wrong with a good steak. That travels. That's international. Good ribeye. So
keeps on going.
Yeah.
All right, let's change the pace real quick. Joe in Fort Smith has dialed us in this morning on the hotline. Joe, what do you got for us here on a Hot Take Monday?
My hot take is, I don't know if this is true, but I heard the Denver Broncos are moving to Northwest Arkansas. Just seeing if you guys have heard that. I've heard that from a couple guys now in the last month.
Yep.
Just wanting to know what your take on that is. Thanks.
Yeah, I think they're going to alternate home games between Bentonville West and Bentonville High. So that should make for an interesting time for NFL teams to come in and play their games. So, yeah.
Bentonville Broncos just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It just rolls off the tongue. It seems so much more natural than Denver Broncos.
It sounds good. I know you've got the and I'm forgetting the league that soccer team plays in, but you've got that new stadium that's coming to Rogers. I've often wondered, and you made the point about Oklahoma City, Tommy. I would think of almost any state that an NBA team in Oklahoma would not be successful, but we've seen the Thunder have been very successful for that state.
They were fortunate to have Durant early. They had a star early in their time there. And to me, that's been the key to what they did. Because once Durant left, it dipped, obviously, and maybe they're on their way back. But they had the great fortune of having a superstar out of the gate.
Him, Westbrook, Harden, that was a fun team back in the day. Now you're hoping this team gets out. I'd be curious, though, if I don't know if it'll happen in y'all's lifetime, but maybe at the tail end of mine, if there will be.
He just called us old.
Well, I'm stating the obvious, but if there was actually an actual professional team that ever makes its way to, and I'm talking about like a major one, not just a minor league team of sorts, because we've got minor league baseball already in Central and Northwest Arkansas, but if there would be one that maybe an actual MLB, NFL, or with the growth of Northwest Arkansas, or NBA team that would ever make it in the next, how old am I, 29, 50 years before I kick the can?
I don't know.
Puts me a little before 80. That's something I've just thought about.
I can't see it now. I can't see it now, but, I can't foresee what it's going to look like in 50 years either.
Particularly in NFL. I mean, you're talking, in the NFL, they're in the top 30 cities, more or less. I know Green Bay's not, and, Kansas City's still up there. But, I mean, for the most part, they're in the 30 largest markets, in the country. And the demographics and the dynamics of Northwest Arkansas would have to vastly change.
Yeah. Well, you heard Joe, his hot take. Again, there's some sarcasm. I think that's accompanied with that take. One of the hot take artists in the sports media world, guys, is apparently moving on from Fox. I don't know if y'all saw Skip Bayless. His last show with Undisputed is on Friday. Do you guys have a show that is outside of Arkansas media? I know a lot of people, I always hear about The Huddle. That's like the Marty Houston, The Huddle show. That was apparently Sports Wrap, of course. That's what a lot of Morning Rush listeners talk to me about. But do you guys have a national show or a national analyst or columnist or anyone that you really enjoyed listening to? Mine has always been PTI. I've always enjoyed Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. I think they have some of the best chemistry I've ever seen between hosts. What is y'all's?
I used to like to watch on Sunday mornings. They had a show called The Sports Reporters, and Dick Schaap was the moderator, and they always had a panel. Mitch Albom was on there a lot, and they had Bob Ryan, Lupica. I always enjoyed that on Sundays. I hadn't been around in a while, and it just wasn't the same once Dick Schaap was going off that, and then you had John Saunders, and he passed on. So that was kind of the show I always liked 15 or 20 years ago, was the sports reporters on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, that was that show had its run, and that show had a pretty good run. I don't know that there's really one that I watch or listen to. It's interesting though. I read the other day where ESPN was about to can Around the Horn. Around the Horn and Pardon the Interruption have been shown back to back. I can remember, I know it's been 20 years. I know it's been 20 years for both shows running back to back, because I can remember when I would host Sports Wrap and we would have the television on in the background, the 12-inch black and white. And that would be on. That would be on every day. And I can remember in the studio getting ready to go on the air at 5 and having that on in the background. So that's been a long time. So those shows generally don't survive. I don't know that all that many of them are any good, to be truthful. But Kornheiser and Wilbon have always had a chemistry.
Yeah, and everything has its run. 10 years is an eternity in this business. 20 is multiple lifetimes.
Well, see, all these guys, the common denominator is ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
And when it got too expensive to pay them, ESPN let them go. And they've all still had great careers. And they you want to – ESPN's kind of like the Cubs used to be, man. If you could bring all the guys who started and ran through ESPN back together, man, you'd have some kind of team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, let me talk to you about Sawyer Sunrooms for a minute before we move on. I was looking at their website a few moments ago, and here's the bottom line: no job's too large, no job's too small. And if it involves the outside of your home, they can do it. If you need windows, they can do it. I'm looking at some pictures right now of their sunrooms, their screen rooms, their patio covers. They can change the way you live with some of these projects. I'm looking at the pool in the background right now, and that looks pretty good right now. Decorative concrete, it's a big deal. Pavers. These are things that really enhance the look of your home. They enhance the value of your home. And they've been doing things like this at Sawyer's for 30 years. Our friend Buzz Sawyer's been around for a while. This is a business in Fort Smith that people have come to know, but they service the region as well. You can see everything they do, and they do a lot of great stuff. You can check it out at Sawyers-sunrooms.com.
One of the stories from the weekend that we haven't addressed just yet is what's going on with the Michigan Wolverines football team and the NCAA investigation findings. Not only that, but also Kentucky is also dealing with some issues as well, which we're going to try to tie those together coming up. But guys, Sherrone Moore might be facing some punishments coming down the pipe, it sounds like.
He was listed amongst the assistant coaches involved in the sign stealing scandal.
Mm-hmm.
And, the question is whether or not suspensions are coming or show cause or what will happen. My guess is it's Michigan, and probably not much will happen beyond just some fines and maybe a few game suspension, Chuck.
I don't know on this. As is always, or often the case, I should say, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up. And where he is right now, he deleted text messages that were part of an NCAA investigation, and that's not looked upon real kindly.
Yeah. So that'll be something worth following. Hey, brought to you by West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. Whether it's water, sewer, gas, or grease lines, if you're starting your week with a plumbing problem, call the experts at West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services, 479-646-5151. That's 646-5151 for West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
So we'll share some information about that coming up on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guns.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. If you need to, you can shop us online at them web things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Arkansas, 80 yards.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one.
Whatever it was you play, soccer, football, whatever it was you play, in your uniform, running down the field. Tell me there is some picture in a frame in your new home of you reliving your high school glory. So when you bring girls to your new house, you can tell them how you were a high school stud.
You have one of those in your house back in the day?
I know. I never was.
No,
I wasn't a stud. No.
Yeah, it is definitely something that plenty of people exaggerated upon Friday, which was quite entertaining to hear the different text and calls.
I'm going to guess there's no such photo hanging in your home yet.
No, I told Chuck there was. It was of such significance when I got on the field, so that was framed.
The game that Ty got in.
Yeah.
Oh, there's pictures all over.
All over. That is plastered all over my parents' wall. A little different than some that texted or called in on Friday. All right, so Chuck, you mentioned the text messages that apparently Sherrone Moore deleted, Michigan head coach, 52 of them. So we're going to talk about the issues that Michigan might be facing, not just him, but other coaches coming up in just a sec.
Hey, work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment right now. You can choose from 0 for $60 or up to $10,000 cash back, plus a free net wrap round belt roll baler. You can get all those savings right there. 0 for $72 or up to $10,000 in cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for $72 plus an additional $2,000 cash back on compact tractors. So no matter what your need, there's savings just for you. No money down, no interest, no payments. It's your choice during the summer's hottest deals. WT Equipment, your partner in progress. Find them online at WTEquip.com.
So for those that have seen The Dark Knight Rises, Batman, there's this scene with Bane and his brother where they're in the plane and he talks about one of them staying.
They expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Well, sounds like that's what Jim Harbaugh is leaving with one of his former assistants and now current head coach, Sherrone Moore, where he gets out. I don't know if he's going to have any. He might get a show cause or whatever. I don't know what penalties the NCAA can actually enforce with him since he's now in the National Football League. I doubt Roger Goodell in the NFL do anything. But whether it's suspension, you mentioned show cause, Tommy. I mean, this is something is going to happen from the NCAA. They're not going to let this go by the wayside with the Michigan football team, I don't think.
My prediction is they drop all of it on Harbaugh's head, give him a lengthy show cause, and minimal fines. These guys, for deleting text and deleting evidence, if you will probably serve some suspensions, maybe pay some fines. But I think a lot of it will be dropped on the head of Jim Harbaugh.
You may be right. I don't know enough about it to say for sure. I will say that, sometimes we talk about how, toothless the NCAA investigative arms can be. But, for example, in a criminal proceeding, you delete or destroy evidence, there's a severe penalty for that. In this situation, and I suspect in other situations, when the NCAA investigates schools, I would imagine this is not the first time texts have been deleted. It's not the first time, what would be called evidence has been destroyed. I'm not saying there's not a penalty for it, but it's not nearly as severe. So there's a reason why sometimes things go as they do. As I say, though, I don't really know enough about this to predict what's going to happen. I know that they've been after him for a while on this. It's become pretty apparent. This is what really ran Harbaugh out of college football. You can talk about NIL. You can talk about all these other things you want to, running him out of the Michigan job. I mean, he got out of town ahead of the posse in that respect. But I would imagine that they'll be penalized to a degree, but not enough that it, takes them out of the, being a player in college football.
And I always, when I think about punishments of, let's say, crimes or rules that may or may not have been broken, do you go after the former head coach? Do you go after the current staff? Do you go after the current player? I mean, it's not as easy as some people think, because you have Ohio State fans, of course, are like, well, they should be punished severely and blah, blah, blah. So, like, a lot of the kids that maybe are freshmen and getting into campus, that's not fair to them. It's just not as easy as people think when it comes to divvying out punishments from the NCAA's perspective.
Well, I think show causes are important. I think that's one of the ways that you do punish. And look, I'm not advocating necessarily for stricter punishments. If you want to get right down to it, it's not something that keeps me up at night. But it would seem as though that if you really wanted to get serious about some of this stuff, you've really got to punish the people that commit the crime, so to speak. There've got to be more show causes. Fines have to be stiffer. The penalties have to be more severe. I don't think there's an appetite to do that. I just don't sense there's an appetite to throw the gauntlet down on these guys. I think they'll do as much as they can, but I just kind of think that's how it works now.
I think the only thing worse could be getting caught deleting text messages from, and your wife find out about it on your phone. So that might be the only thing that could get a man in bigger trouble is deleting text.
Well, some of these coaches probably weigh is the penalty worse for deleting the text, or is it worse for them reading the text?
Exactly. So
it's the lesser of two evils.
Burn her phone. Burn her phone.
Well, that's probably illegal too. So, hey, Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. If you need a custom golf cart for your neighborhood or the golf course, they are the ones that can give you exactly what you want. Your imagination is the only limitation. Custom wheels and tires, custom paint and color, custom seats, custom audio and lighting. Whatever you're dreaming, whatever you're thinking, or whatever you've seen your neighbor do, but you want to do it better, Arkansas Golf and Power Sports can put a great easy-go together for you. They offer street-legal models. They've got a wide variety of golf work and leisure vehicles, so there are all kinds. I went with lithium batteries, but they got gas and electric options that you can choose from as well. They're in Fayetteville and in Little Rock. Stop in and see Arkansas Golf and Power Sports on North McConnell, just off the Garland exit in Fayetteville, or online at arpowersports.com.
All right, last segment coming up, your SEC update. Other things with investigations involving Kentucky.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Somebody get him a plane ticket for New York City.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any two plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Wits Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Wits Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC has got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
So we're just talking about the Michigan football issues. Apparently Kentucky is also dealing with some football issues. At least 11 players, according to the NCAA, got payment for work they didn't perform in the spring of 2021 through March of 2022, according to the findings from the NCAA. Now, that is in kind of line with NIL. I get so confused sometimes with the inner workings of what's right and what's wrong within the regulations of the NCAA, but now are they dealing with NCAA stuff in Ann Arbor, Tommy? It sounds like they're doing the same with Lexington. You know what they say, if Kentucky basketball program does something wrong, they make sure to hit their football program.
Well, or Western Kentucky.
Or Western Kentucky. Yes.
They do that as well. I think a lot of it, there's just not an appetite, I don't think, from the general public for heavy-handed punishment. I mean, and I don't know that that's necessarily in the NCAA's decision-making process, but I don't know how other member schools really feel about it anymore. That'd be a good Hunter Yurachek question. What's the mood or the appetite for heavy enforcements when so many people have been publicly critical of the NCAA's rules and how they lacked common sense? If a kid ate an extra dessert at a banquet, they somehow got a secondary violation. Yeah. It's the lack of common sense that makes sense. To me, it's real simple. you put together before NIL, you pay a player, and still NIL is not what it was intended to be. But that's a whole separate discussion. You pay a player under the table years ago. There should be heavy punishment. You do something like orchestrate a sign stealing system where you dress somebody up. This isn't during the game and you're trying to watch. I think that's part of the game. But you dress somebody up and sneak them in on a sideline in advance to steal signs. That should be dealt with a heavy hand. But the problem is no one trusts the NCAA to adjudicate these things properly because they have lacked so much common sense over the decades of getting the easiest things that the simpletons like me and you can figure out. They can't seem to get right. So we have no trust, no faith in the NCAA to handle the big stuff right because they can't get the little things right either.
Yeah. Last thing here in your SEC update, Devin Bell, your new punter, Max Fletcher elects to go play with his brother in Cincinnati in the offseason, transfers there. And now you've got a new guy, a kid from, I guess, northern Colorado that sat out last season due to the NCAA transfer rules. And one of his goals as a California kid was to always play in the Southeastern Conference.
Our head coach got fired after my sophomore year, and I always had dreams to play in the SEC, and I didn't know if I was going to make it there or whatnot, and kind of just had dreams and aspirations to go to a bigger school. And then after my head coach got fired, I just knew it was time, and I took my chances. And then I was talking to San Diego State, I was talking to Arkansas, a few other schools, and then Coach Fountain, he wanted me to come out and visit, and I came out and visited, and I just fell in love with it here, and I love it. So
that's the guy that's going to be punting. Eli Stein's going to be the snapper. You're going to have a combination of holders, maybe it sounds like, and then we'll see who wins the battle of kicker between Shipley, Cal Baruzzo, and I'm forgetting it's Kyle something. I'm forgetting the other guy, but that's your kicking battle has not been solidified. Your kicker has not been solidified, Tommy.
Yeah, and Shipley and Cal Baruzzo, at least coming out of spring, were the two that were kind of on the depth chart that many had put together. So can't help you with that third name there.
I'll find it. I had it written down. Or they added the other guy from Abilene Christian in Houston. I just got to find his name. I've got it written down somewhere, but they added him.
I need to add that to my note then. So, but we saw 5 one-possession games last year. I'm not saying a kicker's going to make the difference in all of them. I thought Chuck made a great point earlier in the show about third down conversions on offense will have a bigger impact on your season. I agree with that, but we've seen even with an NFL level kicker, close games not go your way. So if you're not to that level, maybe the margins become wider. I don't know.
Kyle Ramsey. That's the kid's name. Apologize, Kyle. I forgetting your name. All right, that is your SEC update this morning here on a Hot Take Monday.
Brought to you by TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Half-price drinks and $5 appetizers during happy hour from 3 to 6 and from 9 to close. You don't want to miss this. They do it twice daily, Monday through Friday. Great place to wind down your afternoon or maybe wind down your evening after 9 o'clock. At TGI Fridays, half-price drinks, $5 appetizers. On Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock, they do karaoke each week, so don't miss that as well. It's at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith, 540 and Rogers Avenue. Happy hour twice daily from 3 to 6 and from 9 to close.
All right, let's welcome in Woods, who's called in from Bentonville this morning. Hang up. All right, Woods, if you want to try and get back on, we will try and get you back on. So this weekend, Luke Combs had a 60,000 plus seat concert. Have you seen this video?
Oh, I know where you're going. I was hoping you were going to bring this up.
So we got It Rains, It Pours, instrumental version. I think a good chunk of you know who Luke Combs is. He's a pretty famous country artist. And he's apparently had a fantasy football league with his friends for 12 years now. And the punishment for 2 of his best friends in the league this year was to get up on stage and sing a song in front of 60,000 plus people, which I didn't want to play the audio because it's that bad.
Oh, that was the best part.
It was terrible.
Oh, that was the best part.
The quality is not good. So that was what they had to do on stage this weekend in front of all his fans. And I would think as a country artist, those being 2 of his best dudes, it must have been pretty entertaining for him.
Oh, the crowd seemed to love it. I saw that video. What? If you got a buddy that's as famous as Luke Combs, what you might want to lose the fantasy football from, but you're getting awfully late for the punishment, right? We're about to start another season. You'd have thought somewhere earlier in the tour you'd have had to hand out the punishment.
Our draft is not this weekend, but it's next weekend in the beautiful town of Tawnytown, Arkansas. Tommy, one of the meccas of fantasy football draft.
When I think NFL fantasy drafts, I do think Tawnytown often.
That's where we're at. But
go out there and see our boys at Wheels. Maybe they'll get you an RV you can host your draft in.
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember what our punishment was from last year. We have not solidified what our punishment is going to be this upcoming season, but those are the more entertaining parts, is what people have to go through each and every time, and they are hysterical. And
That's what people ask. They don't ask you how much your league is to enter. Is it $100? You know what? They don't. They ask what the punishment is.
It's the best part.
Yeah, that's the most interesting part of anyone's fantasy league.
Each one has a unique one that is that they tell people about. In some cases, it's inflicting emotionally. In some cases, it's inflicting from a physical standpoint.
Generally, it's inflicting embarrassment.
Yes,
that's generally.
And that's the goal of most of these fantasy football punishments. Arkansas football ends up having a good weekend. 4 recruits, 2-25, 2-26. Number 1 recruit in the state of Oklahoma, Colton Yarbrough. Yarbrough has elected to commit to the Arkansas Razorbacks. He's the defensive end from Durant, Oklahoma. We had Otis Kirk on earlier this morning. Apparently, Yarbrough has a few family members that went to the U of A. He got offered a scholarship way back in the 8th grade and is excited that he committed this weekend. You also got the young man from Parkview, Cameron Settles, Adam Austin, and then also another JUCO guy too. So 225s, 226, plus you locked up your basketball roster too with Casimir Chavis, which apparently that's what Woods wanted to talk about. We're probably not going to hear a lot of basketball news, Tommy. I guess you'll have 25 guys that might commit, but there's not going to be a ton of basketball news for, I would guess, a couple weeks, unless we get...
Well, Cal said he was going to go to the Jersey Shore and take a little break. He's had a busy, what's it been, 4 months, since you hired a coach, March, April, May, June, July, a busy 4 months or so. So he's probably due a little breather here, and school will start, and it will probably be a few weeks. And what do they start on the 19th? So probably then they'll start assembling again somewhere towards the end of the month.
I guess the next, outside of the recruiting news, the next big news is you want to know when the games are locked in for not just the exhibition games, but the SEC schedule, when those, not just the opponents and where you're going to be playing, but what time and what days those fall on, because it sounds like you're going to be playing both the Kansas Jayhawks and the TCU Horned Frogs in Dallas, Kansas, and Bud Walton. Just don't know when those are just yet.
Yeah.
Bye week this year, if I remember right, is October the 12th. So I could see them putting that game on a Saturday. I personally would rather have them play Kansas the Friday night before the Tennessee game, which would be, I think, October the 4th.
October 12th be a little early. I don't know. It'd be a little early, it seems like, for a game of that magnitude. But who knows? They did it on the bye, but it's a little bit later.
When was the Purdue
year.
game last year?
I thought it was the last weekend of October. But, but it doesn't matter what night you have. You can have it on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. You're going to fill that arena up, I believe. Because for some, it's going to be the only chance to see the Razorbacks. So it won't be part of the season ticket package. I believe you'll have particularly if it's Kansas. You're not going to have anyone. Everyone's going to be interested in going. They'll have fans of theirs come down.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that game was the 20. Like you're saying, the late October is the 28th of last year. So maybe they.
I don't think anyone's scrimmaging on the 12th in a game of that magnitude.
Yeah, you could be right. Just don't know with Arkansas's bye being that. I don't know what the U of A, John Calipari, and what they're deciding when it comes to scheduling that basketball.
It could be on a Sunday, although that's probably not advisable in the middle of NFL season. I do it on a weeknight. Do it at 7 o'clock on a weeknight. If you can't line it up with a bye week in October, which doesn't sound like Arkansas can, assuming the game's going to be here, then do it on a weeknight.
I mentioned our conversation with Otis Kirk earlier. We also checked in with Alyssa Orange in this hour, who gave some updates on not just Arkansas Razorbacks. Scotty Scheffler coming back, beating John Rahm, beating Hideki Matsuyama. Remind me one more time, Tommy. Tommy Fleetwood is the other guy who gets the silver. So him to come roaring back. I think it was 6 birdies in the last 9 holes, if I remember that stat correctly. Was just on fire. The emotion that erupted out of him during the national anthem, once they announced that he was the gold medal winner, was really, really cool.
Got the putter hot, got the putter going. And Scheffler, as great as he is not known as a great putter. good putter, obviously, just be where he's at. But, putting's not the strength of his game. And he got that putter working, got the approach shots working, and, it's a good time to catch a heater. Yeah. If you're Scheffler in the gold medal, because how many opportunities are you going to get in a career to win a gold medal as a golfer? Not very many.
Not many. And you asked the question earlier in the program, what would be better, the green jacket or the gold medal? I don't know if we got a single gold medal person that chimed in.
The Masters is tied so closely to the identity of golf. Golf is not tied to the identity of the Olympics. I think when you say the Olympics and summer games, I think track and field, first and foremost. I think Mary Lou Retton in the 84 Olympics and gymnastics. Golf's just so you don't think baseball. I mean,
yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
You just don't think about things that haven't been that tied long term. There's always been track and field in the Olympics.
I think that's a good way to look at it. Which some Arkansas Razorbacks were a part of it this weekend. Congratulations to those that placed and medaled. It was pretty cool to see not only Razorbacks involved with Team USA, but others incorporated with different teams too, like Amber Anning and Kaylin Brown, which was a wild finish between them and the Netherlands too. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here on a Hot Take Monday. We'll be back tomorrow on a Bandwagon Tuesday. Make sure you stay tuned for another edition of the Morning Rush.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
This is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.